Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are coming to welcome our other platforms as well. Let's just make sure. Yes, indeed, we are all together. So, great evening, great evening, great evening, and welcome to episode number 105 already in the new year of the Sonya Dungee podcast, sponsored by Always Destined for Greatness, where conversation is always the essence of the soul. I am your host, Sonya Dungee, and yes, we are still bringing the heat to the IG, Facebook, and YouTube streets. So, how is everybody doing? I hope your 2025 is going wonderfully for you and that you got your goals in check and you are moving forward one more day than the day before. So, tonight is going to be short and sweet because you're going to have a homework assignment. And also, I will share as to why in a few minutes. But for those of you who don't know me and don't know my story, so my name is Sonya Dungee, and the reason why I am here doing the Sonya Dungee podcast is because my dad went to be with the Lord, and that was actually 4 years ago tomorrow that my dad went to be with the Lord, January 23rd, 2021. And as a result of that, it put me in a really dark place. I was spiraling out of control. I was feeling stuck. I felt like a gerbil on the wheel. I really didn't care to do much but and job again the next day. Um, I wasn't eating. I didn't realize I lost a lot of weight quickly. I lied to anybody who asked me how I was doing. I said, I'm fine, when I really wasn't at all. And as a reason of 342 days later of being stuck, I came to the realization that that's not what my dad would have wanted for me. That's not what I wanted for myself. I had at the time 3 grandchildren, which I wasn't spending much time with. I had 3 grown children, the same thing. Wasn't spending too much time with except for when they were trying to intervene on my behalf and uh, wanted to be my shadow wherever I went. In hindsight, I can now appreciate that. Then I could not. Um, Once I made that realization 342 days later, and I made the conscious decision that I wanted more, I had a purpose in life. There was more life ahead of me than behind me. I later found out that I beat out 299 million to be here. My life was purposeful. I did know that I escaped death on 4 different occasions, and God has me here. And so it's my duty to fulfill my purpose, my walk in life. And as a result, I started taking classes for personal development and psychology and formula and blueprint, and started to learn about myself and my existence. And um, I was able to draw closer in my faith. And now, 4 years, 4 years later, um, I am a transformation coach, and I help those who are struggling with hardship, with grief, with life challenges, go from suffering in silence and feeling stuck with no direction and no end in sight to become resilient and empowered with an attitude of expectation and of excellence so they can achieve their economic independence and be the very best versions of themselves destined for greatness. And so that is the reason why I do what I do. I want to thank you all for joining me. And if not now, later on the replay as well. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth. One moment. Okay. So welcome to my Instagram, folks. It just popped up. We're now live with you as well. But so we're going to talk today about resilience, and then I'm going to give you a homework assignment as well. So if you ask what specifically is resilience, I can truly answer that for you. And resilience is that ability to adapt and recover from stressful situations, maintaining psychological well-being. That's that bouncing back from difficult experiences, as I did. I eventually was able to adapt and to recover and move forward and to become an overcomer and an encourager and bounce back. And in bouncing back, as I shared with you, tomorrow will be my dad's 4-year anniversary of his passing when he went to be with the Lord. And I could have not done this podcast tonight, and I could have drowned myself in pity like I did before and cry that I miss my dad. And I do miss my dad. I miss my dad tremendously. There's not one day that goes by that I don't think about my dad. But in doing that, it recently came to me something that I heard my dad say. It's hard to explain to you exactly what it was, like a daydream, but my dad said he left a gift for me. And in thinking about it, he did. The gift was that although he passed, the gift was being able to find myself, my true self, the true meaning of who I am and my purpose, and be that transformation coach now and help those that are going into or coming out of the storm, out of the hardship, the grief, the despair, the life challenges as I once was in. So now that we know what resilience is, moving forward, we're going to talk a little bit about when we need the resilience. Okay. So whether it be death, whether it be divorce, whether it be aging parents, whether it be health challenges, the pandemic that we went through, job loss, a new empty nest, moves where you had to pick up and move your family to a whole nother state or far away from family. It could have been a graduation, marriage. Those are just some of when you would need to be resilient. Okay. And as I spoke about not too long ago in one of my master classes, the faces of resilience, and we spoke about a few of those faces so that you can put a face to and really be able to have that parallel and that understanding and relate to. Oprah Winfrey was one, and we spoke about Oprah Winfrey in the sense that she was a young child. She was dirt poor growing up. She was taken advantage of. She was told that she was never going to amount to anything. When she tried to grow herself in her business endeavors, whether it be the journalism piece or as she became talk show host, she was degraded and she was talked down. Okay. Another one was Simone Biles. There was issues within her household. Her mom wasn't able to take care of her. Her siblings were separated. They went into foster care, and eventually her grandparents adopted and raised her and some of her siblings as well. And so you can relate to that as well. And another was Bethany Hamilton. She was attacked by a shark, okay, and lost one of her limbs. And but yet she was a champion, okay, of sorts in surfing. Okay. So those are just some people that you might be able to better relate and put this all into a better perspective. Okay. And then the characteristics of resilience, so that you can now answer this question, is the ability to be able to pivot and not get stuck and be optimistic that the glass is half full, and purpose and meaning outside. Excuse me. There's a purpose and a meaning there's a purpose and a meaning to realize outside of the adversity. And the ability to be able to draw on your spirituality as well. Okay. And there's many, many more, but those were a few that I wanted to touch base on tonight, just to give you an overall meaning and relatability to resilience. And so I asked you that question: how resilient are you? Are you able to bounce back after adversity? Are you able to adapt and to recover from stressful situations? Okay. If you can answer yes thus far, then yes, you are truly resilient. But resilience doesn't stop there. You have to be able to continue that. It's not a temporary thing. It doesn't happen temporarily and then you're like, okay, I was resilient, I was able to bounce back, and then boom, something else happens, and then you just dive, crash, and burn. Okay. To keep up that resilience, no matter what, draw close in your faith and pray. And anyone who knows me, I don't apologize. I am a daughter of God. Okay. I am getting closer in my faith. And when an opportunity arises, I do speak of it, as I am now. Okay, as part of being resilient, okay, I've had to learn to pray. And as I shared with you, last year was the first time that I ever prayed for anything for myself. I always prayed for everybody else, always, but never ever did I ask in prayer for myself, because I thought I was being selfish, or how could I pray for myself? And that, that's totally not right. You're supposed to pray for other people, but boy, was I wrong. And when I got it and I prayed, every single time I prayed, if it wasn't within moments, it happened eventually. And I didn't stop there. And I don't just pray when I need anything. I pray all the time. So I want to share that with you. That's part of being resilient as well. Okay. And if you're not a person of faith, there's other ways. Okay. Because besides praying, I pour into myself. I look in the mirror and I speak to the self-image, and I tell that self-image that I am important. I'm a child of God. I am deserving and I'm valuable. I beat out 299 million for a purpose. God didn't make a mistake. I am not a mistake. My God-given purpose is to help those that are suffering as I did, and be present so that they can see this is what resilience looks like. And it's not easy. But again, I chose to show up tonight knowing that tomorrow's my dad's anniversary of his passing. And then 5 days after that would have been another birthday. But how can I preach it if I don't do it myself? So that's why I sit here. And that's why I have been uncomfortable, because I know I have to be uncomfortable to someday be comfortable. And if I'm sharing in front of you, you can relate as well, because I didn't have anybody to relate to. I didn't know that there was a podcast and that I can find an individual and I can listen and I can have breakthrough moments and ahas and say it was of value and emulate that. I didn't have that. Oh yes, I'm sure if I would have went to YouTube, I would have found something in YouTube University, but I didn't do that. I chose to go it alone for as long as I did, which is the wrong thing to do. And I don't want that for anyone ever. So that's why I'm sitting here in front of you. That's why we're talking about resilient. That's why you hear little Namari in the background. Because whether he's in the background or whether it's quiet, I'm still going to show up. I owe that to myself first, and then I owe it to you. So in that, I am going to tonight give you 3 simple key strategies that you can use, that if you are not resilient or you're struggling with resilience, it will help you to become resilient or to stay resilient or just to do one thing more than you did the day before. That's all it takes. So the first one is know what you have control over. If it's something that you can control, control it. You can control self-love and giving yourself self-care. Relationships with others. Those you can control. And if it's something that you can't control, leave it alone. Ligmo. Let it go. Move on. Okay. The second, choose your words. Choose your words. Be more mindful of them. Don't shoulda. Stop shoulding on yourself. I said shoulding. Shoulding. Okay? Don't allow yourself to fall victim. Don't have that victim mentality. Okay? Don't allow to be sucked into that. Stay clear away of that negativity. Not I should have, I will, I am. I'm going to. Right now. Okay? And the last is develop daily coping strategies. Okay? Whatever brings you joy, whatever fulfills you, do that. Do it. And in that, put your short-term goals, put your SMART goals in that category, in that bucket. Okay? Fulfill your goals because we all have them. Don't put them off. Never put off tomorrow what you can do today. Even if it just means something small and move on from there, and something small and move on from there. That's all it takes. Me, I like to go for a walk, Renaissance of the Soul. Or even sometimes I'll just go to the local mall and just walk around because I'm walking really fast. I'm feeling good inside, and my mind is being cleared of anything that could be potential harmful for me. Pick up on your hobbies. Go out once in a while. Go for breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch. Go be with a community of like-minded people, because willpower alone isn't going to do it for you. Willpower alone didn't do it for me. Once I found a community, a supported community, like-minded community, loving community, non-judgmental community, always there, even when I don't realize how much they're needed, and vice versa. And if you're getting negativity in a community of people, I suggest you check into that community. You might want to make some changes and go find another. So I want to leave you with some homework tonight. I want you to be able to answer that question. How resilient are you? Journal it. Mean it. Go back and reread it. Read it every day. And if you're struggling with resilience, because we're talking about that in this first quarter of 2025, reach out to me. We can set up a heart-to-heart with Sonya and discuss it and set up a blueprint for you to follow. It's important. I did that myself. And I didn't realize how resilient I really was until I started writing it down and thinking about it. See, I don't know about you, but for me, spiritual warfare is at its finest. It's been coming at me every single day. Hard, very hard. Today, it was almost blinding. But I will not allow for it to bring me down. Because I know I've bounced back from many things. And I know I can adapt and I know I can recover. And trust me, these are some very stressful situations that I'm referring to. And I've gone through some serious life challenges thus far. But I will not allow the enemy to come for me. He will not steal, kill, or destroy me. So do the homework. And then send me a message, text me, DM me, because I want to know. And again, if you're struggling, I'd be more than grateful to help you. And the reason why I said grateful is because you trusted me enough to bring it to me. And that tells me that you're listening, you're paying attention, and what's being said is helpful. So, before we end, thank you for joining as well on Instagram, YouTube, and well, I appreciate you all. But I also want to invite you, and Big Sis doesn't know I'm about to do this, but my sister is going to have two very special guests tonight on Stay Sexy Wellness, which is going to follow at a special time at 8:30 on Stay Sexy Wellness, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, Coach Dawn Allen. And those special guests are the Joneses. And they just started their own podcast last week, and I'm sure you guys have the ability to see that by now. As well as Nettie does her thing Mondays and Tuesday mornings at 7 a.m. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm welcoming all of you to join as well. And so we're going to wrap this up by saying, be safe, stay well, God bless you all, and remember, be always destined for greatness, your very best, not to be compared with anybody else's middle. Never, because you never know the trueness in what that person is really doing or not doing. And let's not assume that we know, because we don't. We don't. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your evening. Jump on at 8:30 Let's support Big Six Coach Dawn Allen from Stay Sexy Wellness. And until I pop up again, bye for now.